I decided I was going to splurge and not check out early, wait till the 11 a.m. Checkout time. But of course, I got into like a coffee and planning thing up at the restaurant. So it has been a whirlwind and I am getting out just in time. Hopefully, where I can stop by the coffee shop on the way out and get one extra coffee. Town stops like this, overnight town stops, are the best as far as keeping me in high spirits and holding off certain repetitive issues like chafing and whatnot. But there is always a little bit of feeling guilty because these are the highest amount of money I spend on trail generally. It's really cheap to have me off in the middle of the woods any given day. I was able to get my Smoky Mountain episodes uploaded. I did not edit yesterday's because I didn't have time. I confirmed that the Foothill Trail / Bardom Trail should work for post Benton MacKaye plans, though I don't have a completely turnkey option there yet. I basically just have to figure out resupply down there and rides and then see how quickly I finish this trail, since I have another 190 miles, I think. Oh, that is so sad. No coffee shop for me. I was also able to get a hold of Reliance Fish and Tackle, which is my next resupply. Jen has sent a box. I wanted to verify if they had isobutane, which it turns out they don't, but the lady there was so nice, she is going to grab some for me when I go into town. Otherwise, I was going to have to carry extra for the next couple of days, and that kind of messes with my packing strategy on this pack. After Reliance Fly and Tackle, the next stop will be Blue Ridge, which is a full-on town, which Reliance will probably be a hit it and quit it, and then Blue Ridge I'll go into town. They have a Walmart, so if I have anything like, my underwear are failing or anything like that, I can get it there. And then I think Blue Ridge is the last stop before the southern terminus, at which point current plan is somebody is going to pick me up around Springer. Not sure if it's going to be Springer or from the lodge down below. I kind of want to do the approach trail, but I don't really want to do it downhill. I would rather go uphill than down. But either way, and then take me over to the eastern terminus of the Foothill Trail. I will hike that to the west. Then I will Uber or something from that to the east side of the Bardom Trail and try my damnedest to finish that before I need to fly back out west to Miss Taters. So I've got a plan. I'm feeling good, maybe a little over-caffeinated. Still would have killed for a latte back there, but oh well. Time to get moving. Met some nice people on the way out of the parking lot, so I got to save the half mile or so back to trail, whatever it is. There is some sort of an access trail that comes out behind the lodge. Seemed like this would be easier, and me being me, I decided I wanted to come back to where I came off, because what if I saw something cool on, this little section I would have missed just walking out back of the lodge. So I am a bit over a third of the way, I believe, at this point. Now, I do not know how fast the rest is going to go. As Carl promised, the southern end of Smoky Mountain National Park was really easy hiking. 5 miles here from Fontana Dam was also rather nice last night. But there are at least some indications on the Facebook group for the Benton MacKaye that there are some brushy sections. Now, what brushy sections actually entail kind of varies from person to person. Carl said, yeah, there was some brush, but it wasn't really bushwhacking. But, you do the lesser known trails, your definition of bushwhacking can kind of change. See, those 8 or so hours I spent on Black Cone on the Condor Trail, for example. The happier news is, of course, no more national park. I'm way out of the Smokies. I was actually thinking, yay, I never have to come back here and stay in these consolidated campsites. And then I ran into a marker for the Mountains to Sea Trail, so maybe not never, but this is the sort of trail I like a lot more. I was talking to a hiking friend, and it's like my standards for hiking, I will hike pretty much everything. I just have to have sleeping options that are not communal. Beyond that, road walks, pretty much anything else I'm fine with. Could do without the dog attacks of rural Alabama and things like that. But, you know, I just get picky in my old age, I guess. Well, things were a little bit shaky figuring out what I was going to do in Fontana once the hike in had to cancel on me. Apparently they had a car breakdown, so they couldn't come get anybody or do the town runs or anything. Jen and I managed to pull this together, and it worked out. I mean, they had a restaurant, they had laundry. Things were a little spread out, but I can't complain too much, you know. You walk hundreds of miles at a time, a little half mile across a resort shouldn't be the end of the world. They did offer a hiker rate, which is nice, though in the end, the resort fees will probably kick that up to about what I've been paying anywhere else. So it's around 11 a.m., so I will probably not get a full day today. I am just going to kind of play it by ear. Since I'm not planning on a town stop in Reliance unless things go wrong, I don't need to worry about getting there at a certain time exactly. As soon as I exited the national park, I started seeing these diamond blazes, which I had vaguely remembered from my time on the Eastern Continental, where I used this trail to connect the Pinhoti and Springer Mountain. There have been a few spots where the track on Far Out doesn't seem to perfectly align with signs and blazes, but most of the trails I do, you know, you got a track and a vague description. Having to figure out little things here and there are no big deal, and I shake my head when I'm reading Far Out comments and you got through hiker entitlement syndrome in like full swing and people, you know, complaining that they had to touch brush to get to some of the campsites in Smoky Mountain and saying it needed to be removed from the guide and things like that. I very commonly have conversations with people about the Florida Trail when they hear I did the Key West to Canada thing, and some of them are shocked that I am so positive on it. That tends to be a very controversial trail. People either love it or hate it, not much in the middle. And one of the things I've noticed is some contingent of the people that hate it, you know, they're expecting the AT. They're expecting pristine trail maintenance and being catered to. And things outside of the big three aren't exactly that way. Heck, even the big three outside of the PCT and AT aren't really that way. CDT, a lot of the towns weren't even aware they were on the Continental Divide Trail when I went through. And believe me, I am wimpy and lazy as anybody. I will grumble and complain as I am, you know, bushwhacking and struggling, etc. But at the end of the day, I like being out here and I like being out in the wild. And, you know, those pain in the butt bits are all part of the adventure. I don't really regret any of the various trails I have done. There has been a stop or two that was a little disturbing, and maybe I would undo that particular stop, but, you know, each trail has its own character. And if you get too hung up on this isn't the way it's supposed to be, you just miss out on all the plus sides of any given trail. And the funny thing is, I've talked to shuttle drivers at the southern end of the AT that say it's not uncommon to drop people off at Springer and then pick them up that day or, you know, after not so many miles, because they don't even think that is the way it's supposed to be. I guess they followed those happy, living my best life, every day is the best day social media accounts and didn't get all the sweating, soreness, you know, exhaustion, fun bits that make up a through hike. As far as this trail, oh, those are thorns. As far as this trail, I was able to see Far Out comments when I updated, and it looks like there are some people moving south ahead of me. They are a couple of days ahead. Of course, I have no idea how fast anybody is moving, so who knows if I see them or, you know, they get to Springer a day or two or however much ahead of me, and I feel completely alone out here. From talking to people coming the other way, it does look like this trail is fairly commonly done. It's just not crowded. You know, I had people head the other direction in the Smokies that said they had run into 4 or 5 people. I only have minimal info on the other 2 trails at this point. I did some brief checking. I think the Foothill Trail is short but pretty. Shouldn't be too big of a challenge. And then the Bartem looks like it is doable. I'm not 100% sure of the state of that trail or how heavily traveled it is, but I figure I should be able to manage. My biggest problem at this point that I can foresee is I am running around in shorts because it causes less chafing issues and things when things get moist out here. And going through some of these, vines with the spikes on them, that has drawn some blood. There is a point where the brush brambles get to the point where the pant hassle is worth the downsides. For the Sierra, I actually carried both just so I could see, but unfortunately with the medical stuff, my sizes are all off, and I tend to go between 2 sizes anyway when I'm on trail and off trail. So I just didn't have anything I could realistically use. And when I have a loose pair of pants that is getting sopping wet, they drag down and then they rip and then they split, and it's just a never-ending nightmare. So I always seem to end up back in shorts, except when I absolutely have to. So in retrospect, that is the building I stayed in. So going back where I came, going in and out of trail where I did was probably a waste. But either way, I would have had to walk across the property to the general store and then come back up here somehow. That is interesting. So there's been a good amount of these short but steep climbs. So I'm dragging a bit. Not unusual for my first day out of town. Heavier usually is not as well rested as when I'm in my tent, etc. Still feels good to be out here though. Looks like I'm getting in the middle of the color change again. It's kind of neat jumping back down to the green after Vermont. So I just took a break and looked ahead a little. It does look like water is going to get a little bit more of a concern for a while. I basically got really blasé about it during the Smokies because, water was all over the place. I even got to where I wasn't carrying anything. And I rarely carry less than, at least like 3/4 of a liter at any point. It does look like there is enough. There are some other people up ahead leaving comments, so I fully expect to be able to get water in about 6 miles. Sorry, choking on my Nature Valley bar here. So there is water supposedly on trail in 6 miles that I'll be able to collect, and but I have started going up ahead and making comments on which waypoints appear to be flowing, and I'll get a little more aggressive trying to camel up. Fortunately, with the weather coolish like this, I don't go through a ton of water. I'm still on the stuff that I took out of a Fontana village currently. Still haven't seen any flowing water. Haven't really expected it. I do have some beta from up ahead that stuff is flowing. There's also a river right under the road, another mile or two that I could use, but you never know what's in there. I will say I have been getting more views on this section. Wow, something like that, Blaze. And there apparently is the even ritzier lodge than where I stayed last night. I was kind of hoping to find somebody to ask about water, but oh well. Some days out here I'm just cruising, and then some days I wonder how I have enough energy to get through the day. A few more hours. Hello. It's a little bit of a challenge collecting here just due to the lack of any kind of verticality or spouts, but I'm managing, just having to be patient. Okay, so I am past the lodge. I am completely filled with water. It is about maybe 40 minutes until dark. There's a note about a pretty good site about half a mile ahead, so I'm thinking I might just call it for the day. My pack will be noticeably lighter in the morning after all. I didn't really care for that first campsite, so I'm gonna go till I see something I like. Though it is rapidly approaching that time if I want to get the tent set up before it's dark. Okay, advantage of far out comments. I knew there was something usable here. And yeah, this will work for me. I did look further back just out of habit. I would rather be away from trails in general, but yeah, I think this is gonna work. That I am not thrilled by. Freaking people. So if I get killed by a bear tonight, it's due to damn hikers leaving their trash. Okay, I picked up the trash, so now I have tuna, oysters, and a bunch of other crap in my trash bag. Also found some unfired bullets around, so I doubt it was a thru hiker, but that just sucks to find. Got the tent set up just before dark. No connectivity, but nice quiet site out in the trees. This is what I've been craving. Home sweet home.